Hello and welcome to Mastering Microsoft Excel video series. This is video number 44 where we're going to talk about what is the role of true in VLOOKUP. Usually when you write VLOOKUP, the last argument which you feed is false for the exact match. But there is also an option called true which says approximate match. Is it really approximate match? We need to understand that. So let's get into the Excel and let's try to explore about this option. I usually say in my training program that many of us would have not gone to any kind of a computer institute to learn Microsoft Excel or Word or PowerPoint. We all learned in the hard way by self-learning, isn't it? Some of the things we learned from our seniors or from our colleagues. So while you learned VLOOKUP, the interesting part is the last input of the VLOOKUP. So if you ever thought about why are we using false, why are we not using true? If you are a person using the 0, think about why you are not using 1. Then exactly where to use this true or 1. But it says in the formula approximate match. Is it really an approximate match? The answer is absolutely no. It's something different. So let's go ahead and check out where exactly this approximate really works out. All right. So I'm so excited to see how this concept is going to take us to different places. Let's check it out. All right, so for this video, this is the file I'm using it. And if you see it, this is the file which we have used last time in the video number 43, where we have video number 42, where we have seen how do we use the match function inside the VLOOKUP to get the required information. So if you see here, the first sheet is my master data, the second sheet where I wrote the VLOOKUP to get my required information. So I've got everything. But what I want to find out here is the discount. So the discount is something they're saying it's based on the units supplied what you got. If the units are between 1 to 100, the discount percentage is 2%. If it is, let's say, 101 to 200, then it's 2.5. 201 to 300, then it's 3.75. 301 to 500 units is 5%. Anything more than 500 units, it's standard 10%. So literally, you have to check the unit supplied which you extracted, and you have to check that, and you have to decide what's the percentage of discount we have to offer based on the unit supply. So literally, if I'm a common Excel user, ideally I'll be going ahead and writing the if formula, the nested if formula. So probably I'll be connecting multiple if formulas. Or if I'm a little good at using the ifs, then I can also go ahead and use the ifs formula. Okay. So instead of complicating with multiple if formula or the nested if formula, VLOOKUP gives you the most easiest approach. So whenever you have to do a kind of a range search, now if you watch closely here, you have to take this 897, what you got here, the first value 897, you have to go and find out the 897 falls in which range, whether it's falling in the range of 1 to 100, 101 to 200, 201 to 300, 301 to 500, or more than 500. So we are not doing an exact match search here. We're literally doing a range lookup here. So whenever you're searching whether a value is falling within a range, once it falls within a range, for that range you want to pull up and show something, and that's where the true component comes into play. So whenever you want to use the true in VLOOKUP, there are a few things you have to do from your side. So the master data doesn't come from anywhere. So in this case, somebody gave me the idea. I started to build the table. So the table for the VLOOKUP, you got to construct it. So how do you construct the table? So the first column of your table will be the starting value of each range. So ideally, that's how your table should be. So the starting value of the first range is 1, for the second range is 101, for the third range is 201, and the fourth range is 301, and the last range is 501. So the first column of your table which you're constructing for the VLOOKUP should contain the starting value of every range. The second column can be a range, or can also be avoided, but the last column is nothing but the value which you want to bring if the value which you are searching falls within that range, meaning the result what you want to show. If the value falls between 1 to 100, I want to show 2% as a discount. If the value falls between 101 to 200, then I want to display 2.5% as a discount. So ideally, the last column of your table is going to be the result, which you want to display if the value falls within the range what you're asking for. So once the table is ready, rest is all the magic. So let's go ahead and see how this is going to work. So I'm going to go here and write the formula. So to make our life a little convenient, I'm going to reduce the column width. So equal to VLOOKUP, searching which value? This one, the value which I've extracted from the master, okay, comma, where I want to search the table which I constructed it. I'm going to make it absolute reference, comma, which column I want to see it as a result, 1, 2, 3, third column of my table, comma. If you do not have the second column, then you will have only 2 columns. Ideally, the column number would be 2. And this time, watch closely. Let me zoom it out for you guys. Watch the last 10 part. I don't know how many of you really looked into these words, but it says, are you doing a range lookup? If you're doing a range lookup, you should be using true. If you're not doing a range lookup, you should go for false. I'm doing a range lookup, you should be using true. And last but not the least, if you're going for true, the most important thing, the values in the first column of the table array must be sorted in ascending order. So watch out, in our table, the first column in the table array, they are in ascending order, 1, 101, 201, 301, 501. It is mandatory that you follow that, only then the system works. But when you use false, there's no sorting requirement because you're searching for the exact match. It doesn't do any kind of range lookups. So I'm going to use true, or you can use 1 if you're a guy who uses 0. You can use 1. So when I hit enter, so let me zoom out and then double click to populate, and I'm going to put this into percentage, and let me increase the decimals in case if you guys want to see it. So watch closely, it has done the magic. So let me tell you how this is working. Basically, it takes your 897 and goes over here and searches for 897 in which range it is falling. So remember that the logic is, when it is searching, it will look for closer and lower match. So it takes 897 from here. It takes this 897 from here, goes to the table and searches the closer and lower matches, the closer and the lower match of 897. So it's not closer, it's not closer, it's not closer, it's not closer. 501 is a closer and lower match. So let's take 497. The closer and lower match of 497 is 301. Closer and lower, not higher. Okay, because 501, even though it's closer to 497, but it's not lower than 497, it's higher than 497. So the value which you will be getting out is 301's result, which is 5%. So that's the logic behind the true. So remember that whenever you're searching whether a value is falling within a range, then absolutely you should be going ahead and using the true. Now let me give you a few more examples where you can use this. You can use this on a aging analysis. Suppose if you have the number of days the invoice has been pending and you want to put them into different categories, again you're searching the number of days is falling in which bucket, 0 to 30, 31 to 45, 46 to 60, and then you can have a category like A, B, C, D, and you can put that. And if you're a financial person, then you can also use this logic to find out which financial year the date falls in, because the financial year is again a range. So suppose if it is 30th September, it's falling between which range of dates, and you can specify which financial year it is. It's amazing. The idea can be expanded, but the basic understanding is very important. I hope this video gave you a good heads up. Go ahead and implement this knowledge and let me know your experience in the comment section. We'll meet you again with another interesting input. Until then, signing off, Hariharan.